Hi, folks. This is Mark by Mark A. Foster, Ph.D., for the Institute for Dialectical Meta-Realism. I will be reading you an article from the Fox News Channel website. It is a rather odd article. It talks about possible terrorist activity directed at Americans, but it is not what you think, meaning it is not related to Gaza. It is something in an entirely different area. But let me go ahead and put on my spectacles and read you the article, and then you can make up your mind for yourself. Let me go ahead and find it here. Okay, the headline is State Department issues worldwide caution alert for Americans overseas. And the subheading is the U.S. State Department's alert cited the potential for terrorist attacks, demonstrations, and violent actions against American citizens. Dateline, Louis Cassiano, Fox News, May 17th, 2024. And here is the article. Americans traveling abroad are being urged to exercise caution, the State Department said Friday. The agency issued a security alert because of the potential for terrorist attacks, demonstrations, or violent actions against U.S. citizens and interests. The Department of State is aware of the increased potential for foreign terrorist organization-inspired violence against LGBTQ plus persons and events, and advises U.S. citizens to exercise increased caution, the alert says. U.S. citizens abroad are urged to stay in areas frequented by tourists, including pride celebrations and venues frequented by LGBTQ people. Travelers can receive information and alerts from the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. The State Department often issues alerts and travel advisories for Americans overseas. The travel advisories range from exercise normal precaution to do not travel, which is reserved for parts of the world where there is ongoing conflict, ethnic or religious discrimination, or where Americans are generally not welcome. Other reasons for alerts include crime rates, health concerns, and piracy in some parts of the world. Americans have recently been warned to avoid Russia, Syria, and Ukraine, all of which are involved in deadly conflicts, and others like Iran, Somalia, and the Sudan. And that is the end of the article. As you can see, it is quite different than the kinds of issues that we have been discussing in this podcast recently. When I read the headline, I assumed it had something to do with Gaza. It does not. Apparently, there have been threats made against the LGBTQ community and other people who are related to that community. I don't know what the plus in this case stands for, but I hope that people who are possibly subject to terrorist attacks in that community will exercise caution, as the alert says. I have a lot of friends who are LGBTQ, and I do not want to see anything bad happen to them. And some of them are frequent international travelers. So please, if you do fall into one or more of those categories, be careful. Exercise caution, as the alert says. Get a hold of that smart travel advisory information. You can also, of course, always consult with the American Embassy where you are going and see if there are any warnings. The article does not mention that, but I know that is one thing that people often do when they are in areas where there is a possible risk of terrorist activity, because generally they have up-to-date information that is available only in that country, sometimes information that may not even be available in the United States. So again, be careful, watch out where you are, travel in groups, I would say, my own suggestion. Do not travel in isolated areas, like, for example, down vacant alleys. I have a habit of doing that when I go to Mexico, which I should not do. I often go down vacant alleys in Mexico, which is, I know, is not safe, but as a sociologist, I want to go to places that no one else goes to. And people always tell me I shouldn't do it. Will I do it again? Yeah, I will do it again because that's just the way I am. But please don't be like me. Do not be like me. Uh, don't follow my example. My example is not a good example in this case. Make sure that you stay out of vacant alleys. Make sure that you stay out of areas that are highly unpopulated. Make sure that you travel around with other people, because the more people you are around, the less likely you are to be singled out and attacked. Of course, that is no guarantee that nothing will happen to you. Sometimes attacks are made against groups of people, but at least you personally will not be targeted. And that is always a good thing, because that increases the chances of being harmed. So that's all I know. I don't know what else to say. If you have any additional information on the story, please post it in the comments section, which is below the discussion section in the comments section of this video on YouTube. But in the discussion section, I will also post a link to the actual article. For the time being, this has been Mark, by Mark A. Foster, Ph.D., for the Institute for Dialectical Meta-Realism. Have a pleasant day and an even better day tomorrow.